Hi everyone, I'm Laszlo from Sorcerers at the Core, and today I wanted to talk to you all about spreading the love of Sorcery Contested Realm. It's been a week since the release of Arthurian Legends, and I personally have been having a lot of fun cracking boxes, opening packs, and seeing what this new set entails. I was at the full boxed sealed event at Spiel Essen last week. I also enjoyed some drafting at the Sorcery booth itself, and here in Belgium at the local game store here in Lommel. I also had a lot of fun at a local sealed event as well. We are very fortunate to have quite an active Sorcery community. We're a small but very passionate community with a lot of players showing up all around the country to play the game, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about. How can you actually create a Sorcery community for yourself? With the release of Arthurian Legends, there is a big opportunity to get some more players into the game, get their hands on some product, and just introducing them to the awesome thing that Sorcery Contested Realm is. So in this video, I'm gonna try to show some ways that you can actually convince new players to try out the game and get involved with it. So the first thing you can do is probably the one that makes most sense, and it's just the precons. If you have the beta precons, they are a very good way of introducing the game to some new players. I have a set here as well, so you can play around with all the elements. Most of the cards in here are pretty straightforward to play around with. They're quite well balanced, these decks, and they're a lot of fun to play with, and they are a great opportunity for new players to learn what Sorcery is, what the mechanics are, and how you can actually play the game. Now, I know there are some areas where it's quite hard to get these precons in. There's actually a nice solution that we came up with here in Belgium to kind of mitigate that problem. So when the supply for beta kind of dried up here in Europe, we actually had the idea of creating like a limited event where you can only play with ordinary cards. So you would only build decks with ordinaries, and they have the limits of like a sealed deck. So that's 24 spellbook cards and 12 sites to play with. And that actually was very well received. It's a very good way of introducing the game to new players. Most of the ordinary cards are pretty straightforward to play, so new players get to experience the game and learn at a slower pace. They get the opportunity to try some of the mechanics, see what the game is about, before they actually dive in and buy their own set. So I think getting some new players to try out the game, maybe up to your local game store, maybe just some friends at home, that's a good first step. And then I would kind of transition into a second step, which is kind of trying to get involved in online communities. And this is a tip that's great for new players, but it might also be great for you. If you're a player but you're not very active on the Sorcery Discord communities, there's probably a nice opportunity there for you as well, because especially here in Europe, since we're all quite spread out for the Sorcery community, there actually are some Discords that are just very region specific. I know there's a very active German community, there's a community in France, I know the Netherlands, they have like a WhatsApp group. The cool thing about these online communities is that you actually get to meet some players who might be relatively nearby to you, who are willing to play the game in person. So you get to meet some new players, and you get just to share the love with some more people out there, and that's always a good thing. Next to these local communities, there are also some bigger communities, or I should say maybe some more general communities. Of course, you have the general Sorcery Discord. You also have like the All Things Contested Realm podcast has their own Discord. You've got the Cardboard Guide community and our community as well. We are trying to connect European players, so kind of a bit broader than just very region specific. We're trying to connect them all on our own Sorcerers at the Core Discord as well. So that's a great place to meet new people, and also just get notified of some new events which you might not have been aware of before. Now, when you say online communities, a logical next step would be to talk about Tabletop Simulator. Now, I know Tabletop Simulator in itself is not free. It's about 20 euros, maybe a bit less, to get playing and to just get set up, but of course you can play other games with it as well, and these sorcery cards are actually free to play with. So once you have Tabletop Simulator, you get to play Sorcery for free. And if you join online communities, you get to meet a lot of people. Maybe they're not really nearby for you, but you get to play with them through this online platform as well. I know not everyone is a big fan of playing this game online, but just trying out decks with cards for free. Maybe if you've only played with precons, you can discover some of the more exotic avatars that are out there. You can see what the game has to offer. You can play around with some popular decks which are very trending on Curiosa. At the Sorcerers at the Core Discord, for example, we have our own monthly league. So there is a sealed league and there is a constructed league, and every week we try to set up a draft. These past few weeks we haven't been able to because we have been doing it via Sorcery Deck Doctor, and that site has been having some technical issues, but the integration of drafting and sealed into Tabletop Simulator real soon will make it so that we can actually do that more often in the future. So that's something to look forward to, and we kind of expect other communities to embrace these capabilities as well now. Now, of course, Eric's Curiosa has been very adamant at calling this a tabletop TCG. It's a physical game, so it's always better to come together and play this game in person. And that's why the most important step at creating a local community, of course, is activating your local game store. So if you are fortunate enough to have a game store in your vicinity, it would always be great to be able to play the game over there. And that really means convincing the owner of the store to actually invest in the product, make sure it's available there, and to just do local tournaments like local sealed events, local draft events, maybe some constructed play. And that's why they need product. And right now for Europe, product is becoming a bit more available. Of course, in the Nordics there's still a bit of a delay, but product is becoming more available in our regions as well. So I think it's a great time to go to your LGS owner and just talk about maybe investing in a couple of boxes. And if they are not willing to do so, well, be understanding. These people want to make as much money as possible to stay afloat, so they only want to invest in games that they know people will play and people will buy at their store. So the only way to really convince them is to just go over there and play Sorcery. Even if they do not carry it in the store themselves, just ask if you can play some casual stuff over there. Maybe you can buy your own box to do a sealed event with some friends. Maybe you can do some drafts with your own friends, or you can just hang out, play Sorcery, and just show them the love and the community that is growing around this game. And if you're doing that, if you're playing local and you see some other people who might be interested in the game, of course, talk to them, give them a short introduction to the game, and involve them with this game as well. That's how you might be able to convince your store owner to maybe not invest in Arthurian Legends, but who knows, maybe the next set that comes out. And that will wrap things up for this video. If you have some more tips on growing community, then just leave them down in the comments. It's always great to get some extra input there. But for the time being, I just wanted to congratulate the team over at Eric's Curiosa with the release of this new beautiful set. We're really enjoying playing it, and we really hope that this will grow the Sorcery community worldwide, but especially here in Europe, which is where I'm based. If you are interested in playing Sorcery, you're always welcome at the Sorcerers at the Core Discord. And if you are interested in a bit more serious play, then we are actually organizing a constructed tournament on the 7th of December called Siege at the Core. I'll put a link down in the description to give you some more information on that. And of course, you're always welcome on our Discord. We do a weekly draft and some free leagues. There's a sealed league, there's a constructed league, as I mentioned before. So just join in on the fun, come hang out, and until then, I will see you at the core.